Hey, hi, and howdy to all my sweet friends out there. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on my channel. Welcome back to all of my returning viewers, and welcome if you are new. I am glad you decided to click on my video and check out what I do. It is a lot of food and kitchen related content here on my channel, from grocery hauls to cooking videos. I got a little bit of everything here, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button and stick around, check out my playlist, and drop me a comment. Let's get to know each other. All right, y'all. This was a very short week and a very easy week. We were off of school the previous week, and this week we had to get back in our routine. We're back at co-op. We're back at our after-school activities. We're back at homeschool. So I was kind of keeping it simple because I knew it was going to be a hectic week. Plus, we had doctor's appointments and we had orthodontist appointments. Like, there was a lot of stuff going on every single day. So I kept it simple with 3 easy meals. The first one was supposed to be runza, which I've never made before, but I understand it is a favorite in the state of Nebraska. Well, I still didn't get to try it because I was short an ingredient. So instead, I just took a little inspiration from the runza and a little inspiration from a meal I used to make a long time ago when my husband and I first got together, called meal in a loaf, which doesn't sound all that delightful, but it really is like a nice hearty meal, especially during the winter. I mean, it's still hot down here in Texas, but it was definitely enjoyable. So I started by browning up a pound of ground beef, and I added in some minced onion, some salt, some pepper, and I used confit garlic because that's just how I roll here on my channel. I do have the video on how to make that link down below, but you can always use fresh garlic or garlic powder or whatever you've got in your fridge that's available. I let everything kind of cook until the beef was pretty much done, and then I added in about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce and a can of cheddar cheese soup. You can always add in more cheese to this if you like, and like the original recipe, I'll see if I can find it to link down below. I hope I can. This is something I've actually been making for way longer than I even care to admit. A very, very, very long time. But it used to be a super cheap and affordable recipe. I guess in today's economy, it's still not terribly, expensive, but the price of meat has definitely gone up. Anyway, once I added in the cheddar cheese soup, I did add in a 1/4 cup of water just to kind of let everything simmer and form more of a creamy sauce. And so while that is finishing up, I have opened up a can of pizza dough. You can make this much more economical by making your own dough. Typically, that is how I roll. I prefer my homemade pizza dough, as does my family. But I recently broke my stand mixer. I was so sad about this. And if I'm being totally honest, I'm a little bit too lazy to make dough from scratch by hand, having to knead it forever on the countertop. So until I get my new stand mixer, we're just going to kind of have to be a little innovative with some store-bought products, which is fine because it did make this a very fast weeknight meal. So I just rolled out my sheet of pizza dough there, and I divided it up into 6 even portions. And then I'm just rolling those out, kind of like if you were going to make like a homemade Hot Pocket or something like that. I've got it nice and thin, and then I'm going to place a big spoonful of the beef mixture in the middle of it. And then I just kind of fold mine shut and pinch them a little bit to make sure the dough is sealed. As I said before, you can always add in some more cheddar cheese here, like fresh grated cheese, and I think that would be fabulous. If you guys are new, you don't know, but my oldest does not like cheese, so I was really like kind of pushing it with the cheddar cheese soup. I didn't want to add any shredded cheese in there because I knew he wouldn't eat it. As it stands, because cheddar cheese soup does not really taste like cheese so much, he actually really liked these quite a bit. I was quite surprised and not surprised all at the same time, but he did enjoy them. I think more than anyone else, he ate the majority of these. It is a very heavy meal. My husband and I both just had one, and he ate the rest of them. My younger two do not care for ground beef at all, so they typically will have like chicken or something else, a vegetarian dish for dinner when I do anything with ground beef, which is fine. I'm not the biggest fan in the world of ground beef either. Actually, I really am a fan of vegetarian meals, but most of the people in my household are not. So this is how we roll. Anyway, I baked those at 350 for about 20 minutes, and they came out beautiful. And I just served them with some mashed potatoes and corn because it's what I had in my pantry and freezer. I was really trying to use up things on hand. All right, quick and easy enchilada casserole. This was supposed to be crunch wrap casserole, but I needed to get more stuff out of my freezer. My favorite freezer, which is like my most convenient freezer, it's in my main fridge that I use all the time. It's gotten pretty jumbled up with like random things that need to be used. And so I just kind of let that inspire me on what I was going to do for dinner this particular night. So we're having this enchilada casserole because I was able to pull out some homemade enchilada sauce that I had in my freezer and some frozen corn that I had frozen. It was just like corn on the cob. just like regular corn on the cob from the store. I bring them home and I freeze them. And then when I pull them out, I can roast them really easily in my air fryer, or I could just cut them off the cob, which is what I did on this particular day. Anyway, before we get to the corn, I did start off by browning a pound of ground beef, and I forgot to turn on my camera, but I seasoned it with garlic powder, or I'm sorry, salt, pepper, chili powder, garlic, and onion. You can use garlic powder and onion powder if you want to, but I had this massive onion, so I've just been kind of like dicing it up for a bunch of dishes this week. It was huge. So I just put a little bit of minced onion in there, and again, some of my confit garlic. But fresh garlic's great. Garlic powder's fine. Onion powder's fine too. I'm not going for full-on taco seasoning. I just wanted like a hint of that Tex-Mex flavor, which is why I did about a teaspoon of chili powder, some salt, some pepper, some minced onion, and some garlic. But you know, if you want to do taco seasoning, go for it. When I make any kind of enchiladas, I typically don't season it with taco seasoning at all. I'll do salt, pepper, garlic, and onion, and that's the way we really like it. But you kind of can just make it how your family is going to like it. Anyway, once everything was pretty much cooked, I added in some corn. This is about the equivalent of 2 ears of corn. I just cut it off the cob. The rest of the corn I threw in the air fryer, and my youngest son, Jensen, loves corn on the cob, so he just ate an ear of corn on the cob every day. There is my homemade green enchilada sauce. I actually think this was enchilada Suiza sauce, but I can't quite remember. I just wrote green enchilada sauce on it, but when I looked at it, I really felt like it was like the Suiza sauce, which is just a green enchilada sauce with sour cream in it. So I put some in the bottom of the casserole dishes. I am making two. One will have cheese and one will not. Again, my oldest just really does not like cheese. And then I'm just layering some corn tortillas on the bottom. You don't have to fry them or steam them or anything. Just make them fit in the bottom of your pan. I just kind of tear mine so that the straight edges are against the edge of the pan, and then I just cover the bottom completely. Then I layered on some of that beef and corn mixture, and then I put some of my enchilada sauce on there. And if you are using cheese, this is where you'll throw in some cheese. This is also a great place to throw in any other vegetables you have. Zucchini is fantastic in a dish like this. Just cook it on your stovetop and make sure you get out some of that excess moisture. But it just pairs beautifully with any kind of Tex-Mex style cuisine. Corn we did. If you have black beans, they're also great in here. I'm trying to think of what else I might put in there. Bell peppers, of course, any kind of pepper. I would love to just put in a bunch of diced poblanos. I love the taste of poblanos because they usually don't have any heat with them, but I can really pack in a whole bunch of that beautiful pepper flavor. But really just kind of go nuts with it. And I just continued making my layers until I felt like my dish was at the capacity I was looking for. If you're cooking for more people, you might want to do more beef. I find that a pound of ground beef for my sized family is plenty, and we eat on this for at least 2 nights, sometimes 3. Again, my youngest 2 don't eat beef, so they do not eat any kind of beef enchilada casserole or beef enchiladas that I make, but that is okay. They're also not fans of like anything spicy, especially my middle son Cam. So we do kind of play around with what they have for dinner. He has always had like some tummy troubles since he was born. I'm not going to force him to eat spicy food or anything like that because it will make him sick. But the rest of us do enjoy some good old enchilada casserole. You could also do chicken in here. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure when I made the enchilada Suiza, I might have put chicken in them. I can't remember. I think classically they do have chicken in them. So that would be a great meat to put in here. I know a lot of people do seafood enchiladas too. I personally don't care for them, but you may. There's a restaurant locally where I live also that does avocado enchiladas now. Those are amazing. Anyway, once it was all put together, I put it in the oven at 350 for, about 20 to 25 minutes. And there it is. I just served it with some refried beans on the side because they were also in my freezer. All right, sweet and sour meatballs, last meal of the week. This was so easy. I couldn't believe it. I'm using frozen meatballs, but the recipe that I am linking down below does tell you how to make meatballs from scratch in case that is what you are doing. But these frozen meatballs worked beautifully, and they made this such an easy meal, which is great because we had doctor's appointments and we had co-op and I had to go to the store. Like, we had so many things going on this day that I just really did not have time to invest in my kitchen. So it was perfect to have everything going in the slow cooker. So I just put some water in there because this is supposed to have chicken broth. I will put a bouillon cube in a minute. So out of my water, I added some ketchup, some brown sugar, some salt, and some pepper. and some pineapple juice. I am doubling the recipe, just so you'll know, because I had a really big bag of meatballs and I know my family won't eat all of them. So I did go ahead and double the recipe. I'm also adding in some cornstarch. This is just to like thicken up our sweet and sour sauce as this simmers in the slow cooker. You can always add like a cornstarch slurry in at the very end, but the ingredients said I could go ahead and do it now, or the recipe said I could go ahead and do it now, so I chose to do that just because it's easier. And then I think you could put whatever vegetables you want in here. I chose bell pepper and onion, and there's my bouillon cube. I kind of chopped it up to help it dissolve a little faster since I won't be here to keep stirring this throughout the day. If you have bouillon powder, that's even better. It also called for tomato paste, which I don't have, but just to kind of beef up that tomato flavor, I did throw in a little bit of tomato bouillon, and then I added in a can of diced pineapple, because I like pineapple with sweet and sour sauce. Like when I go eat at Chinese buffets and stuff, I love it when they put pineapple in the sweet and sour sauce. Anyway, I just dumped in a bag of those frozen meatballs, and I gave it a good stir, put the lid on, and let it go all day, and I just served it over rice. This was so flavorful and so delicious and so easy, and I really think you could just throw in some shredded chicken if you really wanted to, if you didn't want to do this with meatballs or with beef. I think shredded chicken would work well, or you can just throw in like some cubed up raw chicken and let it cook all day. Anyway, that is it for this week. Quick, easy, simple weeknight meals, and I think your family will love them. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you soon with another video.